Let's get the M95 broken down, take a closer look at all the parts. The bolt came apart a little tough there. There's a lot of hardened grease and everything inside of it. I did get it apart. This little screw here for the safety is pretty stuck, so I'm gonna boil all the parts. Hopefully that'll free it up a little bit. The spring and firing pins in pretty good shape. It has some just kind of caked on grease here. A little bit of pitting on the trigger guard here, but overall in good shape. I like to clean this up. It's like one piece and then take apart sort of piece by piece just to help with the reassembly. Barrel band's in good shape. I was happy that this has the stacking rod on it. Looking at the receiver, also in pretty good shape. Where it was covered up by the wood, there's still a lot of finish left. You can see there's a bit of surface rust forming here. But overall, looking at the barrel, where it was covered up with the wood, it's in pretty good shape. That's the original finish. You can see some surface rust here towards the end, closer to the muzzle. It's right around where you start seeing the wood open up, so it's possible some moisture got in there. Looking at the stock, it's in pretty good shape. You can see right here in the inlay, it's in really nice shape. I don't see any cracks or damage, so it should clean up pretty nicely. The top handguard here is in really good shape. Don't see any cracks or damage, and there's a lot of original finish on it. You can see just a little bit of damage here on the tip. Pretty common though with the M95s. They didn't have a nose cap to protect the tip here of the top handguard, kind of like you see in a lot of Enfields and other rifles that have that exposed wood. So I'm going to go ahead and get all these parts boiled and carded, and I'll work on cleaning up the receiver and the bore, and I'll check in once that's complete. So I always like to showcase how the linseed oil does on the stocks. So you can see this is just how I got it. I'm just rubbing some linseed oil. You can see just how quickly it makes a difference. Cleans up a lot of the stock and really brings out the finish in it. You can see the difference between how it was and how it's looking now. Really starts cleaning it up. You can see it's already picking up a lot of the dirt. Got most parts cleaned up. You can see the bolt definitely looks a lot better than it did. It had tons of just hardened dirt and grease on it. Same with the caulking piece. Same with all the bolt parts really. It was just covered. You can see the carding did a little bit of work on these, not much. They are pretty bare of finish, mostly from the wire wheeling. Firing pin came out pretty good too, same with the spring. Looking at the receiver, there's still a little bit of hardened crud here I'm to clean out. Let the oil do its work for a little bit before I hit it again with a brass brush, but I'm getting a lot of it out. It's just very hardened. You can see there's a few spots of it in here as well, mostly on the corners, as well as toward the chamber. So just letting some oil sit there before I go at it again with the brass brush. Did get a lot of the rust scale off with the brass brush. You can also see the markings a little better now, as well as on the rear sight here. Finish on the barrel is pretty good where it's protected by the wood. can see it's pretty decent. Moving up towards the muzzle, you can see that the finish is pretty much gone. There's not much left. But where the wood did protect the metal, it was pretty decent. I was able to clean up a lot of the rust skill here, and you can kind of read the serial numbers match, the 7719F. There's definitely a lot of damage to it though. You can see there's still a little bit of hardened grease here. I got hit with a brass brush. But overall it's cleaning up pretty nicely. It's got the M95 reassembled. Take a closer look at it. Starting with the buttstock, I left the original design that was in there. See the butt plate cleaned up decently. I left this piece of sling in there for now. I don't really plan on putting a sling in it. Wrist is in really good shape. I was worried it'd be cracked, but there's no cracks in the wrist. And the linseed oil did a pretty good job on the stock. You can see not much finish was restored with the carding, but at least a decent amount. Marking looks pretty good for Budapest. It's the rear sight. It is missing the leaf in it. To adjust the rear sight. Stock is in really good shape. See the band there. The sling swivel here is basically just busted up. And looking at the muzzle, some remaining finish, but not much. The underside of the stock here, it's in really good shape. Go ahead and turn over. See, there's the other side of that art that's in the stock. Wood is in really good shape. One of my concerns with getting B grade is that it was going to be pretty badly cracked and marred on the stock, but overall it's in good shape, and it also has the stacking rod here. As far as the bolt goes, I was able to replace the extractor. They aren't easy parts to find. Never heard anything back about the extractor being missing, but I figure for a B grade they don't really care. So overall, a pretty good example of an M95 from World Tiger Imports, especially for a B grade. Aside from some of the minor pitting and a lot of finish wear on it, I'd say overall it's in pretty good shape. I was happy to see that the bore does at least look like it's shootable. It's in fairly decent shape. And the rifle functions well. So I should have some more videos coming out soon. If you'd like to get notified of those, feel free to sign up for alerts. If you have any questions about this rifle, feel free to drop them in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching.